Welcome to Country Cookin'. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making chicken in lemon and cream, cranberry rice pilaf, greens with honey mustard dressing, and a cranberry Christmas cake. So we're going to start out with the cake because it takes the longest out of everything that we're making this morning. And I have three large eggs that I've cracked and put in my mixing bowl. And you want to beat it for about 5 to 7 minutes with the sugar until it gets really fluffy. So unfortunately we'll have to take a clip because you're not going to want to sit and watch me beat the eggs for 5 to 7 minutes, but we'll get started on that. I'm going to just get the eggs going here, and then I'm going to add 2 cups of granulated sugar. And by taking the time and doing it this long, it should double in volume. So go ahead and just take your time, turn on your TV, and just let it whip up and double in size. So we'll take a quick break, we'll be right back. All right, now we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla, and 3/4 cup of softened butter, and then we're going to mix this in for 2 minutes. So here we go again. We'll take a break while I mix this up and we'll be right back. Now we're adding 2 cups of all-purpose flour, Okay, now all we have left is just to add the cranberries. So we don't have to use any leavening because we've beaten the eggs so much, so that gives us the leavening. And these will get kind of a golden crispy top to them. And you can just eat it like that, or you can put a dollop of whipped cream or something on it too. But we'll fold in our 12-ounce bag of cranberries. I see a stem on one. And pour it into a 9x13 greased pan. Okay, now this goes in the oven and it'll bake for anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes depending on how hot your oven is. So just set your timer for 40 minutes, check it, see how it's doing. Get it going in there. And I'm going to take a quick break, clean up, and then we'll get started on something else. Be right back.
Blazing fast broadband internet from Valley is now available and better than ever. Let us help you decide which speed is best for you. The 50 meg speed would be sufficient for 1 to 4 devices, mainly emailing and surfing the web. Our 100 meg speed works great for 5 to 8 devices and multiple users streaming and downloading video. If you have 8 devices or more that are simultaneously streaming or gaming, or if you have a medium-sized business, the 250 meg speed would work best for you. For extreme heavy home or work from home use, or if you have a medium to large business using 15 or more devices, you may want to consider our 500 meg download speed to fit your needs. And if you're a home or business that needs it all, we have our 1000 meg 1 gig broadband internet speed. Call our office today at 437-2615 and talk with one of our staff members to pick the speed that's best for you.
All right, we're going to assemble the salad. I have 8 ounces of assorted greens, so you can use whatever you can find seasonal. You can, if you prefer using all spinach, or if you'd rather use romaine or whatever is fine. I have a cup of cherry or grape tomatoes, whatever you can find in the store, and a stalk of celery that I've diced, 1 shredded carrot, and 3 green onions that I've chopped, so it has a lot of color. And then we're going to make a honey mustard dressing. Start with a cup of mayonnaise. If you want to cut the fat, you can use low fat. I'm using full fat here. A 1/4 cup of honey. Now I've used that tip that we talked about once in a previous show. I've sprayed my measuring cup with Pam, and hopefully that'll let it slide right out. Check it out. Not too bad. I don't even have to use my spatula. Uh, 3 tablespoons of spicy brown mustard. I should have sprayed my spoon, my measuring spoon. Think about it. Okay, we need 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Since I'm using grated lemon in the chicken, I have a fresh lemon here that we're going to squeeze the juice out of. I need 2 teaspoons. I'm going to sprinkle a little more of this lemon juice on the apples so that they don't color before we serve the salad. And then we'll add those to the salad just before we toss it. Then I need 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire. I never used to be a fan of Worcestershire, but I'm finding more and more uses for it. I even, now when I make gravy, I even put a few dashes of it in, and it gives your gravy a little more flavor and a little more color. So I've really been having some fun adding it to some other things that you don't think about. Okay. The honey mustard dressing is ready. We're going to put it in the refrigerator to chill. I'm going to take a quick break and clean up, and then we'll get started on the chicken and the rice. Be right back.
Get 3 months free access on all lines, plus a new 4G smartphone for only $4.99 a month. 2 great offers with Valley Cellular. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to take advantage of this great deal.
Okay, we're going to start working on the chicken with lemon cream sauce. I've got a half cup of butter in the skillet here, and I'm going to add the chicken breasts. This is 6 halves, 3 whole chicken breasts. So you want to salt and pepper them, and then put them in the skillet. Now remember, if you want a copy of any of these recipes, you can go to the Valley website, www.valleytel.net, and you click on the Country Cookin' Cow on the right. If you don't have internet and you want a copy, just give the girls at Valley a call. They'll be happy to help you with a copy of the recipe. What I tried to do for this show, since we're in December, is to give you an entertaining idea. This lemon chicken gets really tender, where sometimes you make something like this and it'll get so dry, and this, because we're kind of searing the juices in the frying pan, a lot more moist. And it makes a beautiful presentation. I usually will sprinkle it with paprika or some, something to give it a little more color, but that's why you choose other things in the dinner that will give you just a little more color. But this will certainly give you the flavor. The chicken breasts I bought were so fat that I actually sliced them down the center. So normally you might want to pound them down a little bit, but in this case I just sliced them in half. So we'll get started on the cranberry rice pilaf. In the kettle here we're going to put a tablespoon of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. And then once the butter is dissolved in here, we're going to throw in 3/4 cup of celery that I have washed and chopped, and a half cup of onion chopped. And we want to cook this, just saute it just until it's a little bit tender. You don't want to bite into your rice and have a crunch unless it's a nut or something like that that's been added to it. But in this instance, we want the vegetables to be tender. The chicken, by the way, will cook for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then we're going to turn it over and cook it again on the other side. You want it to get just so it's browning on the side. So we'll take a quick break while we're waiting for these to cook, and we'll be right back.
Faster than fast internet is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds, all on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
We've got the celery and the onions just so they're about tender. Now we're going to add a cup of long grain white rice. Stir that in. And then we want that to cook for 5 minutes. So that's it. Check our chicken. Okay, turn them over. This is kind of what you want to see. You want them to get a little bit brown on the other side. Okay, we'll let that cook. Okay, the rice has been cooking for about 5 minutes. We're going to add 2½ cups of chicken broth. A ½ cup of fresh mushrooms that I have washed and sliced. A ½ cup of dried cranberries. And then we'll add our seasonings. We have a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder. And a ½ teaspoon of curry. Now, curry has a very distinct flavor. If you're not used to using curry, you may want to do about half of that and just make sure that it's not too strong for you. So we're going to use actually about 1/4 for right now, and then we'll test it and make sure that it's just not too strong. Either you love curry or you don't love curry. So just make sure that it doesn't get to be too strong of a flavor for you. We're going to bring this to a boil, and then we'll cover it, and then we're going to let it cook for about 20 minutes. This makes a nice dish, a nice side dish to something like a lemon chicken, because it gives you a little color, and rice is always a complement to chicken. Not too strong. And if you don't like your mushrooms as big as I just slice them down lengthwise, if you want them smaller, you can do that too, chop them up a little finer. I just think that sometimes bigger pieces make a nicer presentation. Okay, it's just come to a boil. I'm going to put the lid on, turn down the heat just a little bit, and we'll let that simmer, and we'll start working on the chicken. I'm going to give it a little more time. Take a break, we'll be right back.
Valley is now offering updated digital TV packages and prices. Ask us about the brand new Choice TV package. Call Valley today at 437-2615.
Okay, we're going to transfer the chicken to our broiler pan. Okay, now in another saucepan, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of wine. I'm using Chardonnay. You can use vermouth. if you'd rather. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I squeezed the rest of the lemon, and then I have 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. I'm gonna get this cooking, and this will be our sauce. And to this, I'm going to add a little more salt and pepper. It doesn't need a lot because we've already seasoned the chicken before we cooked it, but we still want the sauce to have the flavor. We're going to let that cook just a couple minutes, a minute or so. Okay, to this we're going to add a cup of whole cream. Stir that in and warm it up. And then I'm going to start the broiler. While the cream is warming up, I'm going to put a pat of butter on each one of the chicken breasts. Just check the rice. You always want to check your rice with a fork so that you can fluff it a little bit. Let's see how it's doing. Just about ready. Just gonna get a spoon and test that sauce, make sure that it's hot. Another minute or so. We're going to take a quick break while I'm waiting for this to thicken just a little bit. Right back. Pour the sauce over the chicken breasts. And then sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese. If you have freshly grated Parmesan cheese, you could use that. I couldn't find any in the store when I was shopping. Usually they have it, but this actually works pretty good because it spreads pretty easily because it's so fine. Now this is going under the broiler just until it browns. I'm going to take a quick break while we clean up and we'll be ready to eat in just a minute.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, we're ready to put the finishing touches on. I have 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley. If you don't have fresh parsley, you can even use the dried parsley. At least it gives it the green, little bit of green color. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of the leftover sauce over the top. Okay, we're ready to dish. If you want to just serve this cake alone, it's delicious alone. My family always kind of likes a little dollop of whipped cream or Cool Whip, so that's what I'm going to do here. And once again, if you know you're going to eat the whole salad for the meal, then you can go ahead and toss it. If you know that you're going to have leftovers, then I usually like to serve the dressing on the side so that it doesn't get so soggy for the next time that you want some. Just a little bit of the honey mustard over the top. There we go. We've got our chicken in lemon and cream. We've got our cranberry rice pilaf, our greens with our honey mustard dressing, and our cranberry Christmas cake. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Country Cookin'. We hope to see you next time.